Gamers, what is up? I just got off of work and learned that we have the Acheron character preview and the new light cone announced, or what it does anyways. So we're going to be talking about all that today. I really didn't get a chance to do any of this when it actually got released because I was at work, bucko. So yeah, we're just going to go over all of this right now. This is going to be a very under-edited video, so deal with it, I guess. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and talk about Acheron. Let's go ahead and talk about our light cones. Let's talk about why I think she is probably going to be one of the better units of the game. I have a video coming out tomorrow, should be out tomorrow, on why I think Acheron is going to be the best DPS in the game, so go ahead and subscribe if you want to enter that. Also, at the end of this video, we'll be talking more about the giveaway for Miss Acheron. Anyways, gamers, let's go ahead and talk about the traces now. So let's start off with the first one, Red Oni. What this does, guys, is as soon as you start battle, it gives you a certain amount of slash dream, so that means this is how you activate the ultimate. So it's basically starting you off with the battle of like having a basically more energy, right? Like how a normal character would start off with like 50% energy, this is going to start her off with like basically 50% of whatever her ult is, right? 9 stacks, right? I don't know how many stacks it is exactly, but same concept as the other one, right? It also is going to be putting Crimson Knot stacks on a certain enemy as well, which is really, really huge. This is how, we will talk about that in a second. I don't know if I can talk about what Crimson Knot does until we get through the rest of this, so yeah, let's just continue with this. Basically, the second part of this is going to work just like Joy E whenever you use a, I guess, skill attack with her or ultimate with her. If she overcaps on her, like, little points or whatever to get her follow-up attack, this works the same exact way. If you overcap on your slash dreams or your slashes, then it kind of goes into a reserve. So after you use the ult, then you can start off with that reserve already, so you can keep topping it up, right? So say, for example, right, that you get the ult up, right? You have enough stacks for her ultimate move, and you're like, well, I need to use Payla's ult now to get an extra defense shred on the enemy, so this going to, I don't want to waste this extra stack. Do I need to go ahead and activate it now? Well, with this, it really doesn't matter, right? So let's go ahead into the next one, the Abyss. Now, this is where so much of her damage is going to come from, and why I recommend, or I guess how many content creators recommend, running multiple Nvidias on the same team, is because this is going to be increasing her basic attack, skill, and ultimate damage by a certain amount depending on how many Nvidia units you have on the team. It's going to be either 1 or 2, right? So 1 unit gets you X amount of buff, 2 unit gets you X amount of buff. We can't really talk. I would recommend running 2 because the multiplier is pretty huge for missing out on 1, right? So you always want to run at least 1, but you realistically want to run 2, right? Because you are missing out a lot of damage percentage without this, but this gives her free multipliers, which was why I was bringing up in the video the other day of like, you know, you don't necessarily have to run a buffer on the team with her because she's already giving herself so much damage percentage, right? It's kind of like Jingliu, right? Where she scales off of your allies' HP, she's scaling off of the type of characters that are on the team already as well. Then finally, the last one, Thundercore, which can be kind of hard to understand, so I'm just going to read it out all the way. When the Rain Blade from Acheron's ultimate hits enemy targets with Crimson Knot, her damage increases, stacking up to a max number of times and lasting for a certain number of turns. When Stygian Surge triggers, additionally deals damage a certain number of times. Each time deals lightning damage equal and is viewed as part of the ultimate damage. So you are going to be adding extra ultimate damage, basically, is what this is saying, right? So those Crimson Knots, right? I don't know if it's going to mention this. We're just going to go on a limb here, right? Let's just say that something in her kit allows you to apply Crimson Knot, these Crimson Knot debuffs with enemies. As long as you're attacking these enemies with Crimson Knot on them, you are getting increased damage. It is going to stack up every single time you hit, and I'm sure you know the ult hits multiple times. So you choose 1, choose 2, choose 3, and then AoE, right? So essentially what you would want to do with the ultimate is target everyone with a Crimson Knot. I don't know if it'll mention this. Maybe the Crimson Knot goes down when they're targeted or attacked, so you just play it smart with who has Crimson Knot, who doesn't, to get the max amount of damage whenever the AoE hits, right? Let's continue on through here now. Oh, whoa, look at these materials here. Pogo. Let's go back to the website now because I just pulled it up in an image. So, the idle animation, I could care less. We already know what this does. This technique is actually really super good because it just will allow me, right, to just feed and cleave through a simulated universe. I can just insta-kill the enemies. This is literally, I wasn't going to pull over my main account, but just for this, I think I'm pulling over my main account just for this, right? Because I don't necessarily even need her, because my main account's pretty cracked as is, but This alone just makes me want it so I can just cleave through Simulated Universe that much quicker. Anyways, on to the next one now. Basic attack. We already know it deals damage to a single ally or a single enemy. Now, let's talk about this one right here, boys. Oh, boys, the talent ability. Basically, what the talent does, guys, is it allows the ultimate to be activated. And also, whenever you go into the ultimate state, it'll allow you to bypass enemy toughness, and it'll also be reducing the all type res of the enemy as well. And basically this will be giving you crimson knots as well, right? So you know how it says one debuff application gives you one charge? Basically this is the debuff application that's giving you the charge here. She uses her skill attack, right? She attacks multiple enemies. She's gonna be putting crimson knot on one of those enemies. This can only be activated once per skill, so you can't get multiple crimson knot stacks per skill. So every time you use a skill, you're getting a crimson knot stack, so which means you probably do want to be fast because you're wanting to stack up these crimson knots as fast as possible. So yeah, this is going to be great. Crimson knot stacks, this is where this even comes from, and that's where you get huge damage bonuses from. The skill attack, I'm sure you know, using the skill will get you 1 point of slash dreams and inflict 1 crimson knot on the enemy. So she hits one main target and then obviously hits adjacent targets as well, but main damage going to that one main target. And then finally the ultimate move. The ultimate move is crazy because it hits 3 different times. We already knew that, but let's see if it says anything else about it here. She's gonna be dealing lightning damage to a single target and removes up to 3 stacks of crimson knot from that target. When crimson knot is removed, deals lightning damage to all enemies. With the additional damage multiplier from this increase every stack of crimson knot removed. This damage multiplier has a maximum limit. So basically, right, if you have 3 stacks of the crimson knot on an enemy, right, and you hit them with one attack, it explodes and does AoE damage. So you can potentially get more AoE damage out with the single target attacks from her ultimate move. And then obviously the last one is going to be hitting all enemies and then removing all crimson knot stacks. So essentially you want to be hitting like the enemies with the most crimson knot stacks with the rain blade attack, the first 3 attacks that you get, because that's going to be the best way to get damage, because you can possibly proc them off and boom, and damage all the enemies. So yeah, very cool there. Anyways, that's really it as far as our kits goes. She looks crazy, and I do think she's going to be the best DPS unit in the game, but more on that tomorrow. Make sure you're subscribed for that. Now let's talk about her light cone, right? Because we have her light cone preview, and this light cone, like I said, it might be a must pull, and we're going to talk about why that is now. But first, let's go ahead and talk about what it does. It's going to be increasing the wearer's crit rate by 36% when the wearer hits an enemy target, inflicts empty bubbles on the enemy that last for 1 turn. This effect can be triggered 1 time against each target for every attack the wearer launches. The wearer deals 24% more damage to targets afflicted with empty bubbles, and damage from the wearer's ultimate increases by additional 24%. So basically what this does, right, is every time you hit a skill attack, you're adding this bubble effect on the enemy, which increases the amount of damage you're doing to it's basically another crimson knot, right? You're getting a crimson knot stack, which gives you increased damage on that enemy. And then also whenever you do ultimate damage, you get an extra 24% damage increase and then a crit damage bonus. So what really does this? The closest thing, like I said, that is to this would be something like Good Night Sleep Well, whereas for every debuff you have on the enemy, you get a damage buff. And that's the closest thing to this, right? Welt's light cone really doesn't come close. Really, no other light cone comes close. The closest comparison is going to be Good Night Sleep Well. But before I talk about is this a must pull, let's go ahead and look at the other light cones in the beta, because I don't. Oh, it has Good Night Sleep Well on. Wait, this is post-op? Okay, subscribe for more is not great, but honestly, post-op and Good Night Sleep Well, this might be a banger banner, right? Honestly, most Anhility units, if you're using dot teams, Good Night Sleep Well is one of their best in slots. This is like a 5-star light cone in disguise. So, you know, with Good Night Sleep Well being on the banner, with post-op being on the banner, because post-op obviously can be used on any of your healers, it gives them extra energy regeneration, right, and then increases outgoing healing. So for anyone that uses their ultimate to heal, Lynx, Natasha, this is going to be great for them, and also helps them to get their ult up as well. So I think post-op conversation is going to be a really good get as well. So honestly, do I think this banner is a must pull on? I don't think it is. I don't really think any banner is a must pull on. Do I think this is a good banner, and do I think it brings good value? Absolutely. I think this is probably one of the best value-wise light cone banners there has been. Good night sleep well is banging. Post-op conversation is banging and sanging. And yeah, this is just a really good overall light cone banner. Like I said, I don't think it's a must pull. I think you'll see a pretty big damage drop off from not having this light cone to having it, just because I guess maybe if you got like, right, so if you get good night sleep well up all the way, it's like 3 stacks of what, 20 something percent, so a 60% damage bonus. Then this one right here is giving you, I guess it could potentially give you that because every time you attack the enemy is giving you a damage bonus, and then you also getting the crit damage. I don't know. Obviously, I do think her light cone is the best in slot for her. But yeah, I think the Goodnight Sleep Well can also work too. Sorry for the rambling here. Now let's go ahead and talk about the Acheron giveaway because I'm sure you guys want to know about it. And I know from the last video I posted earlier today, I guess, some of you guys were confused on it, right? We are doing the giveaway on stream. There is not anything in the Discord right now to actually sign up for the giveaway. It's going to be live. So the way you enter the giveaway is by joining into the stream when she comes out, whenever I'm live on twitch.tv/YouTube can't see me. That's why I say to subscribe to the YouTube channel, because that's one of the things you need to get into it anyways. You need to join the Discord because that's where you're going to get notified when I'm streaming. And then finally, follow on Twitch because that's where we're doing the giveaway at. And if you're not following you in the giveaway, you're getting banned. So make sure you're followed over there, okay? So I don't have like an exact time that I'm going live yet. I'll get that time later, closer to the date, because I have, you know, I work a 9 to 5 job, okay? So it just depends on my work schedule and when I can actually do the live stream, right? I will let you guys know that in the Discord. So join the Discord so you get all the information on that. It will be a free Acheron. I'm not using any of your jades. I'll be using all of my money. I'll be also, I guess I would be using your free top-up reset. So if you do end up winning the giveaway, I'll give you a chance if you for some reason wanted to go ahead and buy the top-ups and just save those jades in your account for something else, because if I do go through and buy those top-ups, then yeah, so just keep that in mind. Anyways, gamers, that's gonna do it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Later. Bye-bye.